Welcome to Dating Across the Aisle with Jyl and Pete.
Welcome.
How was your week?
It's been good so far. I spent the weekend with my little one, and we had a great time. We went swimming, did a lot of things, took her shopping, spent a lot of money I don't have. It was good.
Oh, kids.
Yeah, she is great at spending my money. If you ask her, she'll tell you that too.
Had an average week. Just worked. Got nothing exciting. I know. Those of us that have jobs is kind of weird. Okay. Week date update. So we haven't gone on any dates, so we wanted to talk about some funny dating stories that have happened to us before. It wasn't this week, but they're funny. We also want to hear your funny dating stories, so hit us up on TikTok and tell us what funny dating things have happened to you.
Yeah, I want to laugh. I like to laugh.
Right? Okay. What do you have?
I mean, I got plenty of them. But one of the ones that comes to mind first is, my daughter, we put her in piano lessons, and it was coming to the end of the season. I don't know what you call it, but they had a recital. Yeah, a recital. And we're sitting there in the chairs, and her mom is sitting next to me. And this was this was some years ago. And I was on a dating app, and they had like intermission at this recital, and I'm sitting there in my seat, and again her mom's sitting right next to me, and I'm like, hey, I got a few minutes, it's intermission. So I open up the dating app and I'm just swiping through, and it like gives you suggestions, and I was like, that person looks really familiar, and I'm like, close. It was her mom. We were on the same dating website, and she comes up as suggested for me. This one might be a good fit for you. Nope, tried that. It's not a good fit. Yeah, it's. I closed that.
Did you say anything to her?
Hell no! I closed it super quick. I was hoping she wasn't looking over my shoulder. I was like, oh,
Swipe left.
oh, big time. That was like a block, not even a swipe left.
I saw my husband on a dating app once too.
Is that your funny story?
No,
Oh,
it wasn't
do you
funny
have one?
at all. But, well, I do have a funny dating story. I don't know if it's funny / nightmarish, but this was like one of the very first dates I went on after I got separated from my husband. And I had no idea how to filter through dates. Like, I had no idea, like, any kind of protocol for this. And I thought everyone on a dating app would be normal. Like, why wouldn't they be? So this guy tells me what bar to meet him at. We're going to have a drink somewhere. And I was like, okay. So I show up to this bar. There's like hardly anyone there. It's like almost empty.
Oh, so that he didn't plant anybody in the restaurant to watch over the date.
He did not.
Okay.
Certainly did not. So I'm there for like 20 minutes, and I've never given him my phone number. We're still messaging through the app.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, hey, I've been here for 20 minutes. I don't see you. And he's like, I'm here. And I'm like, where are you? He's like, I'm at the bar. And I'm like, no, you're not. There's no one here. And I was like, you told me to meet you at such and such place. And he's like, oh, I totally went to the wrong place. And he's like, hang on, I'll be right there. I'm only like 10 minutes away. And I was like, okay.
Now it's 30 minutes.
So now I'm like, okay. And I'm like so nervous, right? Because I've never been on a date.
Okay.
And I'm just like, well, I don't now.
Yeah.
But back then I was. And so this guy shows up, and I was like, how long have you been drinking at the other bar? He's hammered, okay?
Wasted. Okay.
Hammered. And he just drove to get to the other bar, right? And I'm like, think you're okay, right? And it gets to the point where I'm getting super uncomfortable and he just keeps drinking, right? And I was like, okay, I think. And then he tells me that he lives in his parents' basement. And I'm like, okay, well, and then he tells me that it's because he just went through a divorce and it financially devastated him, which I understand, that this happens. And I was like, okay. And then he says to me, he goes, well, I live in my parents' basement. He's like, but you don't have to be quiet. And I'm like,
what is he insinuating?
Wait,
Are these expectations he had on date
I don't
one?
know. I was like, okay. I'm already so turned off by everything that has happened here.
I'm sure
But
he meant the movie that y'all can turn the
sure that's
Netflix movie
thank you.
up.
That's what he meant.
Yes.
And at some point, I like tell the waitress, like, check, please. Like, let's go. And he falls out of his chair onto the ground.
Get the fuck out of here.
He falls onto the ground, and I'm so mortified because even though there's not a lot of people in there, it's even more obvious because there's not a lot of people, right? Like, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, this is so bad. He gets back up, and the waitress brings us the check. He gives her his card, and she comes back and she says, your card got declined. And I was like, here you go. I got it. Like, I'm paying for it. Like, no worries. Like, so bad. And then, like, we're walking out, and he's like, are you sure you don't want to just, like, make out with me in your car for a little bit? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. Bye. So I don't know if that's funny.
I mean, it would be pretty damn funny to see him falling out of a chair.
It's funny now.
It's funny now, I guess, to see his card get declined. He spent all his money at the first bar,
I guess.
and he
Well, I
has a
didn't remember.
How does he he's living? Never mind. There's so many questions.
So many questions that I don't have answers
You
to.
didn't find this out that he lived in? Oh, you were a newbie. You didn't know what questions to ask
yeah.
at that point.
This was the start of my, like, I need to filter better.
Yeah.
Like, now I'm like a pro at it, so.
Oh, well experienced, huh?
I mean, no. So, yeah,
That's pretty funny.
funny-ish, I guess.
Yeah, I have. I mean, just the initial meeting. I have another one, kind of.
Okay.
So we're messaging on this dating app, and she's got plenty of filters, so I don't know exactly what she looks like. I was a newbie at this point too. This was several years ago, so we didn't exchange numbers either. But we planned to meet in Dave and Buster's parking lot. Yeah, and it's like
Very
okay.
specific.
It was. It was so weird. And because we were going to go and have lunch at Dave and Buster's. It was the middle of the day. And, it's not that packed because it was like, I don't know, we'll call it a Tuesday. It was not a weekend. The parking lot was empty. Dave and Buster's was empty. Anyway, I pull up and I'm waiting for her. And she pulls up and gets out of her vehicle and she messages me. She's like, I'm here. And I'm looking like, oh, that doesn't look like the person I was. Anyway, I get out of my vehicle and I walk up to say hello. And I say, hi, so-and-so. Don't even remember her name. And the first thing out of her mouth was not, hi, how are you? It was, are you disappointed? Because she knew she didn't look anything like her pictures. Well, for one,
Who asked this?
not that there's anything right or wrong about this, but in her pictures, she had a little bit longer hair, maybe the length of yours, and it looked normal. And then when I show up, it's almost like a boy haircut, the kind of haircut that the teenagers wear, they little fluffy on top and a little thinner on the sides, kind of thing, looking like a llama and stuff. And it was like a different shade, and she looked like 15 years older than the pictures. I was like, she knew she catfished me by that response. The first thing was, are you disappointed?
Don't ever ask that.
Not to me. Yeah.
True story. Do not ask him. He'll tell you the truth.
Bring back honesty.
Transparency.
Transparency, too.
Yes. Okay. So there is a therapist that I follow on TikTok that I like, and her name's Maddie Rouse. And she has this segment that she calls Bad Relationship Advice. And so I wanted to talk about some of the things that she says that people are like telling you to do, but it's actually like bad advice. So the first one is keep your options open.
Yes. Okay. I've heard people telling people that. But at that point, you got half a foot out, ready to go.
Yeah. So she says what this really means is that you're avoiding emotional risk,
And commitment.
that you're like not willing to go
Right.
all in with someone.
That means so many things. It could mean you have a roster. It could mean you want a backup plan because you're already thinking it's going to fail.
This is an approach in dating that you see a lot where they're like, no, just date a whole bunch of men until someone steps up to be like the good, like the one that you want. And I'm like, how do you do that though? Like, how do you date multiple people and try to figure out someone that's going to rise to the top?
They do it on The Bachelor all the time and The Bachelorette.
No. They fall in love with more than one person.
And they date multiple women and they're waiting for a signal, a sign, somebody to step up to be, I'm that one for you. And yeah, and it happens.
I also think on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, they already know who they're going to pick, like at the beginning.
Well, yeah, they got to keep it a little dramatized.
Sure.
I mean, if they knew within like 3 days, now I really only want to see this one. I want to see where it goes. What good is that? Who's going to watch? Nobody.
Nobody. It's like, everyone else can go home.
Yeah.
I want her.
Watching those shows, not that I watch them, a friend told me about this, but
Oh,
it's like, do they make whoever it is, the Bachelor or the Bachelorette, do they have to meet a quota of like a certain type of race or a certain type of look? Because I mean, most people have what their type is, right? I mean, it's not a secret. I like white. And can I say that? No. I can't say that? Oh,
I'll take that out.
lighter complexion? What,
okay.
what
fine.
can I
You
say
can
and what
say
can I
it.
not say?
Don't send me messages about it, though.
Oh,
Send them to him.
okay. Let's forget I said that. Some people have a type, and so they give them the roses to give out, to the very first night. You sending half of them home, but say like the last one I watched, it was a black gentleman, and I don't know if his preference. I only watched the first few episodes. I didn't know if his preference was black, white, brown, whatever it was, but he gave out to all the different colors, and I've seen it with a white gentleman as well, where he gave out to every different. Do you have to? Is there like a DEI quota you got to make?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I would have to ask like a casting director, but I assume that they're trying to like represent all the people there.
I'm gonna have to ask my friend what he saw in that
Yes.
episode.
Also, because we also don't watch Love is Blind, right?
I don't even know what that is.
No.
I don't watch chick flicks and
No.
stuff like that.
They never have ugly people on there.
True story. Because
On Love is Blind.
well, no,
Because if it was really blind, you gotta put some ugly people on there.
some ugly fat people. Yes, like No Neck Ed.
Yes.
Yeah, put him on there.
And he's like, I live in my mom's basement.
Because okay, so I'd seen commercials, videos of back in the day art. Because back in the day for us, they had the 1-900 numbers that you can call and somebody would talk sexy or dirty to you. And I've always wondered, it's like the females, are they some fat ugly girls
know they
with some
are.
sexy voice?
No, they are.
Man,
What you were picturing.
love is not blind.
No, but we want to see some ugly people on there. If anyone's listening.
I do.
From the show.
Absolutely.
Yes, it makes it much better.
Like, who's going to get paired with
You're
this
like-
one?
Is love really blind? Yes, it is. No one's gonna go with her.
I'll be able to tell at that point.
Okay, here's the next one.
Mm-hmm.
If he wanted to, he would.
Okay. Next.
So she says, I mean, sometimes if you're not clear on what you want, how is he supposed to know? If you want things clear, use concise and clear communication.
Right.
Men are not mind readers.
No.
So if he wanted to, he might, but he might not know that that's what you want him to do.
He definitely doesn't know. You should tell him. But then, some people say, well, that loses its meaning if he doesn't do it because he does it or because he thought of it. He's never going to know. You know what? It's okay. Tell him exactly what you want him to do. I guarantee you he'll want to do it. And it will happen later on as well.
What about women?
What about women?
If she wanted to, would she?
That's not a saying.
I know.
I mean, guys don't. Do guys say that? I don't think guys. No. I've never said that once in my life.
Okay, here's the next one.
But I also like to communicate. I'm like, hey, I like this. Can you do this?
Got it. You shouldn't have to teach someone how to love you.
That's interesting. That makes me think.
Should they just know how to love you?
No, not at all. But all they know is from what their experience is, from what love is to them, or how to give love.
So you shouldn't have to teach someone how to love you. And she says, actually, you do have to teach
Yeah,
someone.
absolutely. I believe
Your
that.
partner doesn't know all your triggers. They don't know all your past trauma and what makes you feel safe. Healthy love is taught. It's not assumed. So someone isn't just going to know everything about you and what you want and what makes you happy and what upsets you, and that you have to teach them. You have to show them. You have to communicate and tell them.
That communicate word came up again.
Again.
Wow. It's almost like it's important or
It's
something.
almost like you have to talk about stuff. You
Oh,
won't. Okay. You can't love someone until you love yourself.
what's that mean?
It means you're unable to love someone else unless you love yourself.
I think I have issues with that one.
It gets said a lot that you're going to have a hard time finding someone and teaching them how to love you if you don't even know how to love yourself.
I got a question.
Okay?
Man, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Oh boy.
Can you, I'm trying to phrase this the best possible way I can.
That means it's going to be interesting.
Yeah. So, would you consider it loving yourself if you're hiding behind filters, makeup, fake this, fake that? Is that saying you love yourself?
I mean, I don't know why filters are so important to people right now and why they're using them for everything. I don't know why we're trying to hide from what we look like and trying to make ourselves someone like it makes us look better, right? But
Right.
that's
But
not who you are.
exactly. So, does that mean you don't love yourself enough to present yourself to the world?
I mean, possibly. I think that you need to take a good look and say like why am I filtering every single photo of myself that I don't like how I look? I mean, that's just who you are.
I'm stuck looking like this the rest of my
I
life.
mean, we all are how we are.
But you didn't answer my question.
I don't
Is it loving yourself? Do you think so?
I don't think it
Okay.
is.
All right. That's all.
So
What's next?
I haven't finished
Oh,
it.
there's more. I love it.
You can't love someone until you love yourself. And she says, you don't have to be healed to be loved. Growth is ongoing. You do need to be able to take responsibility, recognize your patterns, and show up with honesty.
I like that answer. I do. I like it a lot. Because,
If you're being honest,
right.
you're going to show what your face looks like.
right. And also, you're, I don't think you're ever going to be completely healed from whatever trauma or bad relationship that you got out of.
Never.
Yeah, because you could say that you're healed, and then all of a sudden, this person the new person you're dating does something, and it reminds you of what you went through, and you're like, oh, and you take a step back. Maybe the walls go up a little bit more. So, but if you're honest about, hey, you did this, and I reacted this way, and I apologize. I know it has nothing to do with you, but I just want to let you know where I am, and maybe you can help me. We can get through this together.
Yes, communicating.
Damn, again?
Weird. Wow. Also, don't mistake this for the fact that that you shouldn't heal after you get out of a relationship or a marriage. Like, there's a reason that we say that we don't date people unless they've been divorced for a year. Like, you need to take some time to heal yourself and figure out, take a good long look at yourself, go inward and say, what did I do?
Ability.
Yeah.
You need to see what you did as well that you can fix or work on.
And then try to work on those things. Maybe you won't even know if they're healed until you start dating again. And
Right.
then you say, oh, I'm
Yeah, no,
doing it
I'm
again.
not ready.
And there's nothing wrong with saying hey, why am I doing this again?
Right.
And I gotta step back and I need to take a break from dating right now because I gotta figure out
Well,
work through this
yeah.
or
Well, that's
whatever.
kind of what in our last episode, we talked about the unison story that we had, that I was talking to the young lady in Pueblo. And that is what she told me. It was the whole, it's not you, it's me thing. But she followed up that with, I got a message from my ex and I don't think I'm ready to be dating. It just messed with my head, and it's not you, it's me. So, I mean, I don't know.
And then you're like, okay.
Deuces. What'd the barber say? Next.
Okay, here's the next one. High standards mean no compromise.
You always have to
I think so.
Right. That's what I would say is like, I don't care how high your standards are or your expectations are. If you're going to involve another person, there's has to be some compromise. Has to be.
Standards are fine, but sometimes they get confused with emotional walls. So a good relationship will challenge you. It's not about finding the perfect person. It's about finding someone willing to be with you. That usually means you're going to have to compromise,
Yeah.
or in all kinds of ways.
A lot of ways. Well, we were talking about it, we touched on it briefly before, is on your expectations whenever you're dating is like, does he have to be a certain height? Do you have to be certain this? Do you have to make a certain amount of money? Does he have to look like this? It's like, you might need to compromise a little on some things. I don't know.
You might have to. Okay, this is the last one. Cut off anyone who triggers you. I think this might be you. That just is
I got nothing to say.
cut bait.
I'm a little quick to cut people off. And I've told you this before, is like people that bring drama or negativity to my life, I am quick to cut them out of my life quickly. I live a really peaceful, calm, simple life, and I like it. And if you come to and disrupt it, I am quick. But I know I am. I probably need to work on that.
Here's a suggestion.
Sweet.
So, cut off anyone who triggers you. No, triggers are teachers. Okay? If your solution to every uncomfortable thing is to walk away, you're not healing, you're avoiding. The goal isn't zero discomfort, it's learning how to stay in the room and walk through it.
I don't like that one. Next. Oh, wow.
I didn't even realize
I-
that was going to be about you. There it is.
Well, I don't even know half the time what you're going to say.
You didn't know what I was.
No, I had no clue. Or else I would have said, let's leave that one out. I feel triggered.
Yeah, I think that this is something that I have only learned within the last 5 years, is like listening to my body and saying like, why am I freaking out about this? And like, why am I super dysregulated all of a sudden? And then you have to say to yourself, like, why do I feel this way? Why am I so upset? Or why am I so angry about this? Or, whatever it is that is triggering you. And then to sit with it and say, like, why did I react like this? Like, what is it that was said? Is it what they said? Or is it about me? Or, and if you're just like, oh, I feel dysregulated, this is uncomfortable, like, I'm just going to leave.
I'm going to have to rewatch this like 20 times. I feel like this is for me. Did you do this on purpose?
I didn't. It just occurred to me but
You set me up.
I didn't. It doesn't hurt for us to be in work too.
I'm not immune to the stuff we talk about. I said that on the very beginning.
No, we've both learned stuff from doing this.
I have learned a lot. In fact, we talked about that just a day or two ago. It's like, this just trying to do this podcast has made me think and grow as a person a lot.
Yeah, me too. I've had to take a good hard look at myself on a few things as well. Okay, so Pete has a hypothetical question for me, apparently.
Yeah.
So this is it.
Hypothetically,
Okay.
say you're married and several of your girlfriends are like, hey, we're planning a girls' trip. And you're like, you want to go? They're asking you. And your husband says, I don't really want you to go. Are you going?
Well, I want to know why he doesn't want me to go.
Okay, so
I want to go.
of course, so you,
I want to go.
okay.
Why would I mean, of course I want to go.
Who
Hang
doesn't,
out with all my girlfriends.
right?
Are is anyone else married?
Well,
This is like all
it's a mixture of single women friends and married women friends.
okay.
Uh, I don't know. We'll just put it at 10 or 12
So
people.
this isn't like a single
This is not a
party
singles trip,
night.
but there are single friends there.
And
And
yes, I do want to go, and I
you're
want to know why he doesn't want me to go.
okay, and you ask him, and he says, well, there are a few factors. One is because I, as the man, am a protector and a provider. I can't protect you if you are out several hundred miles away in unfamiliar territory. Two, we know what goes on girls' trips.
Do we?
But I mean, I think we do. I do. I've I've been in places and I've seen girls' trips happening. Yeah, they're great.
Okay, so this is interesting. So I did go on a girls' trip when I was married.
Okay. Was it now? How many friends, females?
There was a lot of us. There was like 30 of us
Holy hell!
that went and rented this humongous house in Vegas, like an Airbnb. It had its own pool, hot
Wow.
tub, everything. And so we really didn't have to leave the house. Like
mean-
it was super fun.
If you're gonna do it right.
Yeah, yeah.
That's nice.
I had never been on a trip like this.
Okay.
Like with friends.
Okay.
And a lot of these women I did not know.
And is there a mixture? Are they all single? Are they all married? Is a mixture of both?
Mostly married.
Okay.
A couple people were divorced, but most of us were married.
Okay.
And at some point, we decided, I think it was probably about 15, 20 of us, so maybe half of us, decided that we were going to go dancing at a club in Vegas, which I've never done before, right? I've never been to a club. I have no idea what to expect.
Sounds like some single shenanigans for me.
And I had no idea what to expect. And I didn't expect that it was going to be just like in the movies. Like they were like throwing money, champagne popping. I mean, this thing was like crazy. I'm naive to this kind of stuff, so don't make fun of me. And at some point, I'm dancing with my girlfriends. Like I'm keeping to myself. I have zero intentions of getting any attention from a man here. Like it's the last thing on my mind. I'm super loyal. Like I wouldn't even look at another person. And at some point, a guy comes up behind me and he's like whispering in my ear and he like puts his arms around me and he's like, "You're very beautiful," or something. And I was like,
Oh,
out.
no kidding.
And I was like, I have to leave. Like, I'm leaving. And as I'm leaving, one of the chicks that's there with us is making out with another dude, and she's married. This is not her husband. And I was like, oh, I was like, what?
You're not helping your case.
Okay, not at all.
Oh, so let's go back a little bit. So your husband gives you reasons why he does not want you to go. Are you going still?
If he doesn't want me to go, then I understand why.
And you're not going.
I guess.
Wait,
I
what?
don't know. Okay, I want to distinguish the fact of like, is this controlling of my husband or is this protecting?
I would say it's definitely, if he is a real masculine man and he is a protector, then I would say no, it's not controlling and it is definitely protecting. And it's not that he doesn't trust you. He doesn't trust the dude that just came up and is grinding on you, telling you you're beautiful with his hands around you. And I like to put it like this. If there are 100 females in a room and one guy walks in the room and says, "Who's ready to sleep with me?" How many hands are going to go up from the females?
Maybe one?
If, maybe, if. And if there's a group, a room full of guys and a woman walks in and says, "Who's ready to sleep with me?" How many hands are going up?
98?
We are not the same. It's not that he doesn't trust you. He wants to protect you from the 98 guys that are trying to sleep with you.
Just, okay.
Here's another hypothetical.
Okay.
because this is what it's like, I believe. For a woman that goes out, since men are the pursuers, you walk into a bar and there's probably at least 15 or 20 guys that want to get you drunk and take you home. For a guy,
There is?
oh, absolutely. No strings attached. They want to take you home and sleep with you. 100%. I guarantee it. A guy walks,
News to me.
yeah, a guy walks into a bar. There are not 15 or 20 girls that are going to try to get me drunk and try to take me home because it'd probably work. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding.
We know.
So it's not the same. So you can't look at it through the same lens. Does that make sense?
Killer.
And also, if this is the way I think, if I'm married, my wife is very important to me and very valuable. I'm going to protect her because I don't want any harm come to what I deem as valuable to me. And so for me, going on a ladies trip, girls trip, whatever you want to call it, where I can't protect her or see things that she can't see, I'd say, I don't think I want you to go on this.
I do have one more story.
Oh, okay.
And this happened in the last year or two. I went on a trip with my best friend. I was single. She has a boyfriend. We met up with someone there that's married. This married one was also making out with some dude. He was paying for all of our shit the whole night.
I see. I think we know what happens on girls' trips. You're not helping yourself.
But
But thank you.
sorry, ladies, I didn't.
I'm not saying they
tried.
always happen like that. I'm sure there are some that are really calm and not filled with drama and cheating and all this stuff. And it's not that the guys don't trust you. It's they don't trust all the other guys that are trying to sleep with you. And I mean, some will even go as far as to put shit in your drink. So tell me it don't happen.
No, it happened. That I do know.
Exactly.
Okay. So, we've never done this before on our podcast. We're going to talk about politics.
No. We don't talk about politics. That's like an argument waiting to happen.
Right?
Oh boy.
Okay, first I have a question about this. Do you think that you have to talk about politics or your stance on subjects with your partner?
Okay, I don't think you have to, but I think you have to talk about values, morals, and stuff like that, and what you believe in, as far as money and family and kids and religion or whatever it is. I feel like you have to talk about that, and sometimes nowadays a lot of people think it involves politics, so maybe it is. You have to talk about politics as well.
I definitely think in the dating stage you have to talk about it.
Politics?
Yes.
I don't ask, I don't tell, I don't, but I mean, it's pretty safe to assume with me because I don't act, not that there's a way to act, but yeah, I don't ask.
I think it's very common now that people want to know, especially like if they're super staunch Republicans or super staunch Democrats, they're going to want to know, like, are we, like, if you voted for Donald Trump, I'm
Three
not gonna-
times? What?
I'm not going to date you.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't ask because I want to get to know the person. I'm not going to judge them off of who they voted for or what they believe politically. I want to know them as a person, their personality, their character, and then I will say if it's going to work or not.
And do you think that it's fair for someone to go, well, if you voted for him, then I already know the kind of person that you are?
No, absolutely not. 100% disagree with that.
Why?
Because that's judging a book by its cover, and everyone says don't do that. Should you judge a book by its cover?
I mean, I don't think so.
There's a lot of books I would not have read if I looked at the cover and it's like, ugh, no thanks.
I mean, I'm taking a lot of shit about this podcast over this.
Sorry to hear that.
Really?
No, I am.
No, it's
I
real.
thought I was the one that was going to be going through all this catching shit because
Yeah.
of the stuff I say.
We both thought that, and it turns out That is not what is happening.
I
I'm the one catching all the grief.
I get all kinds of positive feedback. I love interacting with people that send me comments and suggestions or feedback from the episodes. And it's always positive. It's always a good flow. And no one has said anything negative about me or you in any of the feedback that I've received.
I've received so many messages about like, how do you not want to kill him? How do you not want to throttle him?
That was a good one. Throttle.
Just throttle him.
And I've even
Like,
thrown out the suggestion to Jill. It's like, hey, I'm a nice person. I'm willing to meet with whoever has issues or complaints or that wants to throttle me or that wants you to throttle me.
Oh, yeah.
That I would love to have a conversation. I like communicating. I'm not shy, and I would talk to anybody about anything. Just saying.
okay. So what we're going to talk about today is guns.
I'm a gun enthusiast.
Yes, you are.
I might have a couple, 2, 3.
Don't know how many you have, but
Yeah, no, a lot of people don't.
I have 0. Do you think I should have a gun?
You are a single female with daughters living in your house. I would say yes.
But you know that I don't really know how to use one, right?
Yes, I do know that. But I do know people that know how to use guns and have grown up with guns and have owned guns since they were like 4 or 5. Yeah, I can introduce you to a couple people.
What, that can teach me how to use
Yeah,
it?
absolutely. Teach you how to take apart a gun, teach you everything about a gun.
I have shot a gun before. When I was in my long-term relationship, he loved guns, and I was so scared of him, and he had them in my house, and I was terrified. And finally, he took me to like a gun range, and then he took me out to his grandparents' farm, and then I started feeling better about knowing how to deal with it, and I started feeling more comfortable being around guns. And I'm starting to feel like I might need to get one.
Yeah. They also offer a lot of courses, trainings, and stuff like that to familiarize yourself with guns. So it's out there. You just got to want to get it.
So how I feel about guns is I feel like everyone should know how to operate one properly and that there should be some sort of way to test this. I don't know.
I didn't know this about you. You think everybody should know how to?
I don't know if you should have a gun if you don't know how to use it and
Right.
take care of it.
Right. That's terrible. If I would have a gun if you don't know the first thing on how to use it or how to be safe. And because then you bring about the people that's like, oh, guns kill people. No, I've set a gun on a counter for months at a time and it didn't kill anybody. But you put it in the hands of somebody that doesn't know how to operate it, that person's going to kill somebody, probably themselves.
Okay, so what I want to talk about today is, as of now, nearly all the mass school shootings in the United States have been by a male. Female perpetrators in mass school shootings are extremely rare, if at all. So over 95% of school shooters have, and mass casualties have been male. Let's see, female shooters involved in what would be classified as mass school shootings are very rare cases, according to the Congressional Research Service, as incidents where 4 or more people were killed. And then it cites the biggest shootings, which was Columbine, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Parkland, and Uvalde. So what I want to know is this a coincidence, or is this a mirror reflecting something that's like deeply broken in how we're socializing and supporting boys and men in our culture?
I know it's not a gun problem. I think it's a mental illness issue.
Okay.
And if you're saying the statistics
why-
say that
why
it's
boys?
mostly men or
Men,
male,
boys, yeah.
then there seems to be a mental illness issue with men. Because it's definitely 100% not a gun issue.
Okay. I mean, no other country has this problem except us.
Well, we also are the most free country, and there's a reason why.
Yeah, because we have guns everywhere.
Because the citizens have guns, and
Right.
they're for our protection against tyranny. Government that, so if the government tries to come and control you and take away your freedoms, you're like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. And that's kind of what happened before. That's why we're free.
Okay. So we need to talk not just about access to weapons, but what drives young men to violence. So what are they trying to express, and why is violence their language?
Well, I don't think that I think this goes back to having a good male role model in the house. They don't know how to control their emotions, their anger. Who's the guy that said Jordan Peterson? He has a pretty good quote about this, saying that I
Is
can't
this
think of
it?
the quote.
A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control.
Correct. That one.
Is that it?
That is it.
Okay.
See, I told you I was going to butcher the hell out of it. Man, I was so deep in thought trying to figure out.
A harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has that under voluntary control.
Correct. And so it's the men that are not good because they can't control it. They can't control that violence, that anger. And so that's, I think, why a lot of these things happen.
So, according to this research, we're going to talk about toxic masculinity again.
Okay.
And emotional suppression. So many boys are taught that anger is the only acceptable emotion for them to express. Sadness, fear, vulnerability are seen as weaknesses. From a young age, they're told, man up, don't cry,
Right.
be tough, right? But without healthy outlets, these repressed emotions can explode into violence.
Well, that's why you need a good male role model in the house to teach you how to control those emotions, that anger. I was very fortunate, always say, I do. I live a blessed life. I was blessed with two great parents and who are still married, just celebrated their 50th year anniversary. My dad is probably, I think, the best male role model I could have ever had. I'd pick him 99 out of 99 times, 100 out of 100, whatever it is. I'm picking him every time to be my dad because of what he taught me. And my dad is, he's a badass for one. He's like, I don't know, 5th degree black belt in karate and all kinds of crazy shit. He's a badass, I'm telling you. But he is very controlled. He won't look, and that's probably where I get it from. It's like, have you ever seen me mad? No, because I don't get mad because I can control. I'm always in control of myself, and I always, because I know I have to accept responsibility for everything I do, all my actions, everything I say, and I was taught right.
So, what happens when boys aren't allowed to ask for help? Like, sometimes this means that they end up taking their pain out on other people
They're not allowed to ask for help. I don't know what that means.
because they have all of these feelings inside it, whether it's sadness, anger, resentment, whatever, and then they are always told, like, keep it to yourself. No one wants to see your sadness. No one wants to see you crying or talking about this.
I mean, I
Right.
guess I'm just going to keep going back to they have to see somebody being able to manage all that and seeing how to cope with all that and how they release that stuff.
Because I don't know this for sure because I don't know the parents of these shooters, but I think that a lot of these shooters have had two parents in the home. They have a mom and a dad, and we've seen the parents on TV, and I seriously have, like, it breaks my heart when I see this because I'm just like, how? Like, what would you do if your kid displayed this kind of violence on someone? Like, it's so horrible.
Right, but as a parent, you have unconditional love. So are you going to go and bash your kid if they just came and did that?
Of course not. I'm
Okay,
just
then
saying that
that's what I'm saying.
I've seen some of these parents and they seem like good parents. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I and I also have children and they make their own choices of stuff that has nothing to do with me. And so I don't know. Like, I feel like we can blame the parents a little bit. And
Oh, I think a lot of it. Yeah. I mean, it's not a coincidence that I turned out the way I did when I have two great role models in my house growing up every single day.
But I know that you have had times in your life where you've been violent.
Yes. Yes, correct.
I mean, a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's, I mean, most men I know have been in some kind of fight in their life.
Plenty of those.
Yeah.
That's how guys settle conflicts. It's like, yeah, I
Exactly. You're making my point.
well, with other guys, yeah.
Yes.
If I have an issue, but it's not like I'm going to go and take it out of all these innocent people. If I have an issue with some guy, but I'm not anymore. I'm too old for that stuff. But back when I was in high school or college or whatever, in the military, it's like if I have an issue with that one person, I'm gonna go and we're gonna talk. And if we can't resolve it by talking, okay, let's go meet out behind the building and we'll fix it that way. And then you know what? After that, it's like we are the best. We're going back to friends. That's because we couldn't settle this. We're gonna have to settle it one way. And then after that, it's done.
This is another thing that makes men and women polar opposites because women are not like this.
But we're going to try to talk first. And if that doesn't work and we can't come to an agreement or an understanding, okay, well, then there's only one thing left to do. And
Fight it out.
right. And then after that, you're like, okay, we're good. I mean, this has happened to me. It's like you get into a fight and then afterwards you look at that guy, you're like, we good? And you just look at him and he's looking at you. And if he says we're good, then you shake hands and you go and have a beer.
Women don't do that. They hold the grudge forever.
For 40
and ever.
years. Yeah.
And ever.
No, guys ain't like that.
I know. Okay, back to the subject.
I thought we were talking about politics. What the hell what are we doing?
We are.
I'm talking about getting fights and stuff.
Yes, this is the subject. Oh. So a recurring theme in these shooters' profiles is social isolation. It's often tied to bullying, romantic rejection, or feeling powerless. Many shooters were young men who felt ignored, invisible, or humiliated, especially in social and romantic hierarchies of high school. And this ties into entitlement and a little bit of misogyny where they feel like they should be in charge. So some shooters leave behind manifestos expressing hatred of women or resentment over being denied attention or affection.
Some of my biggest bullies were my family. I tell you what, they were ruthless.
It's true.
Nonstop. And still to this day, I know if I'm walking into my uncle's house, it's gonna be bad. That's how. I mean, they're bullies.
But also, that's done in love.
Right.
This is not done in love.
But it got me ready for people saying mean shit to me.
Sure. So I think that one of the issues is that there's like a masculinity crisis in schools. Okay.
There's a masculinity crisis everywhere. There's not enough of it.
Schools may not be equipped to address emotional needs of boys in healthy ways, especially when they're struggling with identity, aggression, or trauma. And so, and I know because one of my best friends is a teacher in a Title I school, which is...
What does that mean?
It's the lowest poverty.
Not very affluent.
Correct.
Okay. I like that word.
And
I just learned like a couple of years ago what that meant.
And I know that they have so many violence problems, and she's an elementary school teacher. But like, it's not uncommon for her to call me and be like, I got hit today, or a first grader threw a chair at me, or
what?
Yes, this is every day. Every day. K through 5th grade.
There's not, I'm going to get in trouble for this too. There is not enough spankings going on at the house. I'll tell you what, I got spanked. I was more afraid of getting in trouble at school. And it wasn't because I was going to get in trouble at school, because I was going to, excuse my language, but I was going to get my ass whooped if I go home and I disrespected a teacher or was a bully to a kid.
Yeah.
In fact, this is a good story. So I was in, I don't know, kindergarten, first grade, and I tripped this little boy. I don't know why. Anyway, just stuck my leg out. I didn't know anything was going to happen. Dude fell face first, knocked out teeth. And I got sent to the principal's office. I was like, "Oh man, I'm so sorry. This was well, he was my friend, but I just, just fooling around." And I got swatted. This was back in the days when the principals were like, "Whack, whack," and I got I don't know, 2 or 3 paddles. And they didn't send a note home with me. So I was like, I ain't telling my parents. I finally told my mom when I was 18, and she goes, "They paddled you?" I was like, "Yes." She goes, "Why didn't you say anything?" I was like, "Because I didn't want to come home and get another one. That's why."
Is the difference in parenting today? Well, I can tell you that when I was a teacher, that I dealt with this all the time. That when I would call a parent and be like, "Hey, I had to kick your son out of my classroom today for," I don't even want to say the reasons why I had to call people's parents because it was so abusive.
I mean, we can use one of the instances that you use. Somebody threw a chair and it hit you.
Yeah. If your son threw a chair at me, I would throw him out of my classroom,
Okay.
which I have done.
And you call the parents.
And I call the parents, and then they say, "Well, what did you do to him?" I'm sorry, what did I do? I just told you your son threw a chair at me in my classroom. Well, he would never do such a thing. Like, I can't believe that my son, little Johnny, would ever do such a thing.
Again, this goes back to how many parents are going to say some bad stuff about their kids. They're not.
Yeah, and the reason why there's no respect to teachers is because the parents don't respect the teachers anymore either. And now we're dealing with all of these kids that have zero consequences for their behavior.
Yeah, it's like you got to raise their kids. Not only teach them, you got to raise them too. Like teach them manners and respect is like that should be taught.
And it was a huge reason of why I left because I was literally getting abused at work every day.
Wow.
And these are by children. I taught high school, so they were older and bigger and scarier. And there were times that I was literally afraid that I was going to get hurt from a boy in my classroom.
Well, I believe this about kids. They're like trees. And I've said this to several people. It's like kids are like trees. You have to straighten them out when they're young. Because if once they start getting older and they're already growing crooked, you can't correct it. You have to just let them keep going in that direction. But if a tree is going crooked, it's still young, you can tie some strings around it, get it to grow straight.
Yeah, I did not raise my kids like that. And there's no way if a teacher called me that I would say, "Well, what did you do to them?"
Yeah, no. No,
Hell no.
if a teacher calls me and says my daughters, "Oh, don't you worry, Miss So-and-so, we are going to take care of it. Mm-hmm. Come here."
Yeah, which is why you don't have problems with her.
No, my daughter is one of the most well-behaved kids you can ever think of. I get compliments all the time, all the time. She's well-behaved. She listens. Well, because she knows if she doesn't, there's consequences to those actions.
Right. Well, to wrap up our political discussion here, we can't fix and address this problem. But what we can start thinking about is like, what if we more start teaching men and boys that strength means being vulnerable, compassionate, not controlling and dominant and revengeful. Like, I think that we have to start dealing with what this looks like when boys are young. Somewhere we've gotten some mixed messages that are all wrong.
Well, we have to give these boys good male role models in the house. But that's a whole, I can sit here and talk forever on that. You know what?
I know we could.
I could. It's like we need to keep families together. We need to keep dads in the house. Kids need a good male role model in the house. It's so important.
Well, we didn't fight.
No, we didn't. We didn't really talk about politics.
We didn't. That was...
We talked about guns a little. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. We don't need more laws on guns because that's just hindering the good people. Because criminals are always going to be able to get their hands on guns.
To wrap this up, do you think that Democrats want to take all of your guns away.
Yes.
Okay, well, I say we don't.
No?
No.
What?
I don't at all want to take people's guns away. I just want people to be accountable for the fact
Okay.
that they should know how to use it. And I feel like there
like that.
has to be some way to what the answer is. Obviously, we can't figure out an answer in this country for people to agree upon. But like, I don't think, would it be wrong if they're like, we want you to take a test to see if you know how to use this, clean it, shoot it, take care of it? Like, would you hate that?
So, I think there should be something similar to, so to go hunting, you have to complete a hunter safety course. You have to show skills. Well, first, I went through it when I was, I don't know, 7 or 8 years old. And you have to show competency in being safe and how to maneuver the weapon so that basically you just have to show that you know how to use it and know what to do, what not to do. And then they give you a little certificate that's saying, okay, you can go hunt now. I don't know what the right answer is, but you should know how to use a gun before you get one. But I don't think banning guns is the answer.
I don't think that anyone's trying to ban guns.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm going to go ask my friends. You go ask your friends.
Okay.
Let's ask, and we'll reconvene and we'll talk about it.
We will. And we want you to tell us, are we trying to ban guns as Democrats? I don't know.
I don't think Republicans are trying to ban guns.
That's for sure.
We want more of them.
Well, here's something to open your heart and mind about this week. So do yourself a favor. Go have a constructive conversation with someone that's of the opposite political party of you and
I love
see
that.
if you can come to an agreement on something, or if you guys can hash it out. I don't know.
We do it all the time.
We do. Pretty much every week.
Right.
Or every day. I don't know. But that's what I challenge you to do.
Yeah. Be kind, pay it forward, and remember, facts don't care about your feelings.
Bye.
Bye.